Welcome to the Pregnant Bitches podcast.
I'm Jessie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're just a couple pregnant bitches navigating motherhood together.
Welcome back to the Pregnant Bitches podcast.
Woo-hoo.
Woo-hoo. So we touched base on pregnancy, delivery, shopping bags, not shopping bags. We talked about hospital bags, but we should talk about shopping bags. And this week we get to talk about the big mind fuck that is
postpartum.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's get straight into it.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm still not there yet. Still pregnant.
Right.
So
hold on to it.
We're not in the postpartum era yet. But like, holy fuck, postpartum is like literally a whole other pregnancy.
I know.
That nobody really explains is going to be as intense as it is. Like, I feel like you have to almost treat it like another era of your journey. Like, it's 100%. Not just like, oh, sick. Like the way that the medical system treats it of like, oh, like 6-week checkup, like bullshit, 6 weeks.
6-week checkup, you could work out. You're
it's
a
lot
new person. Honestly, I'm a year postpartum and I just started finally feeling like myself
I agree.
a little
I think
bit.
It takes a year. I think it takes a year.
Just
and I
started.
think you need to like go in with the expectation that like even like all these celebrity body bounce back, whatever, it's all bullshit. Like it takes a long time for you to get back to normal and you should give yourself like the time and like be patient with your body and your hormones and your everything and like just it's your body went through a lot. It went through a lot.
9 months. It's like you think about it this way. 9 months of growing this human. Do you think like like the human comes out and you're like, okay, let's get back to it? Like, no. There's lots that go into it. So,
but I don't think that like the system and the world gives it the time of day at all. Like you're pregnant, you are like put on a pedestal. People give you their seats. You have 95 million appointments with your OB. You are like, everyone's like, oh, she's pregnant. Like pay attention. And then you
Extra
have the
food.
Baby and it's like bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Like, can we come over and meet the baby?
Like,
can we come over and meet the baby? And you know what? Now I see what it's like. And when my friends give birth to their second kids, because I didn't know any better with my first, I'm like, how are you doing?
Yes. How are you doing?
And then the
That's
next
like a
question,
very important question.
How are you doing? Not so much. The baby will come second, but how are you doing?
Yes, I agree. And the baby, like for the most part, is usually fine. They don't do anything at the beginning. They sleep, they eat,
poo,
whatever.
They pee.
Like check on the mom. The mom is who you need to check on. And like, you know, I think it's so important. Like we had each other going through
we were
our
really
first
lucky
postpartum journey. And like it makes such a difference to have a small community, big community, any community. Like honestly, I found that like postpartum, I made friends with people that like I was not friends with before.
No.
But we had something in common, which was motherhood. And it made us like able to relate to each other. And even if you just share your story, I feel like it's something like, even if you don't get advice back, but you're sharing your story, it like feels good. It like feels like you're like,
and they're listening
connecting.
to you. They're listening to you and they care and they know, and you're going to hear their story. And postpartum, it's hard. It's hard.
But I feel like there are things that you can do and like speak about and prepare yourself a little bit about just to like make sure that, you know, you're somewhat prepared.
Right. So how were you cleared for your first, like, what does that mean? They tell you 6 weeks, 6 weeks. So you're kind of counting down to like that 6 week, but let's talk about it. What does that mean? You're cleared at 6 weeks? Cleared for what? What are you cleared for?
Literally. And we both got cleared during COVID.
Yes.
So we got cleared on a phone call.
It was
which is insane. You just literally birthed out a child, like a huge ass baby from your tiny little vagina, and phone call. You okay? Yeah. Do you need anything? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm fucking first time mom. How the hell am I supposed to know what I need? You're the doctor.
Right.
Well, if you want to come in, you can.
I don't
really want to come in, but like, do I need to? I was like, how are you going to like check me? She's like, well, do you feel okay down there? I'm like, I guess.
How are you supposed to know?
So that's how I got checked the first time, from a phone call.
Wow. So did I. I got checked from a phone call and they asked me, are you still bleeding? And I said, no. And are you okay? Like, do you want to kill yourself? And I was like, huh? Like, and I was kind of like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, do you want to check me? Like, make sure everything's fine? And they were like, do you have any questions? And I was like, yeah. When can I have sex?
Of course you would.
I was like, when can I have sex? Like, aren't you supposed to check to make sure everything's fine?
Right, like healed.
And they're like, well, if you're not bleeding and everything seems fine, whatever. So I checked myself.
Oh.
I was the OB. I checked myself to make sure that I didn't know what I was looking for. Truthfully, I didn't know what would be okay.
That first time you take a mirror down there.
And I kind of was like, okay, like it seems fine. Okay, I guess we're ready. And I guess they tell you can't have sex till 6 weeks or do anything till then, but it really ranges. Like it can go from 5.
So
and I've heard women that like don't have sex for 3 months after because they're still not comfortable. They're still not healed. So many things happen, but no one tells you anything unless you're talking to your girlfriends or a mom community.
100%.
Or looking at Google. Did you know like
What?
we're older than Google?
Stop.
We're older than Google.
Shut up.
That's how old we are.
Ugh.
I know.
Ew. Really?
We're older than Google.
Okay, wow. I
What?
did not know that.
Yeah.
Great. Just great.
But anyways, that clear. But I feel like, and then you know what? And then I gave birth to Ace and it's not COVID. And I went in.
The same?
No. But I went in. Okay. So I was like, okay, I have to go in. I sat down. They were like, how are you doing? I'm like, good. They're like, are you still bleeding? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, you're good to go. Call us if you need anything.
They didn't check you
They
again?
didn't even check me the second time around. So guess what? Amanda was the OB again. I checked myself.
I understand.
I know. It's really sad. It's not
up.
good. So I'm so excited for you to have a midwife.
I think it's going to be very different.
And I can't wait to hear all about it.
I really think it's going to be different. First of all, they come to your house.
It's
so even
amazing.
if you're like not 100% sure,
Right.
like you're not in a hospital, whatever, like she can probably check you like no problem.
I'm really excited to hear about it because if I decide to have my third kid, like it makes sense.
But like the benefit of the midwife is she can still deliver at the hospital.
Amazing.
So if you want the safety of the hospital, they'll like the OB would swoop in if you had an emergency.
For sure. But
like,
then she would come to my house and check me and make sure everything's working down there.
Ugh, that's insane. Like honestly, like we just had a friend too that delivered and she's having issues and like that's because nobody's checking you. Like this is insane. I really like this is one of the things I feel like our healthcare system really has failed on and like they put the onus on you to like advocate for yourself.
Right.
I mean, you have to advocate for your health in general in life, but like to me this is such a common thing that happens to so many people in this country and world that like it should be a little bit better.
I think
like
so.
It should be a little bit better.
6 weeks, you go in, you get checked, you make sure everything's fine.
You should even have an appointment at like 2 weeks.
You're right. You know
like,
what?
I'm sorry,
you're right. You're right.
Like they're stitching you up.
Right.
Or
some
like
or not.
Whatever. But it's like
check me out.
Like if you got a surgery and they opened you up and they stitched you up, you would have a post-op appointment.
Yes,
and they would come and they would inspect it and whatever. But now all of a sudden, because it was labor, you have a 6 week and it's like a phone call. Like it's ridiculous.
I know, it's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Advocate for yourself.
So I think it's important that you have to talk to friends and talk to other moms and get some tips from them of like what to do to take care of yourself because you got to take care of it. First and foremost, you got to take care of your vagina. There's lots of things you got to do.
Vagina.
The peri bottle, you got to use the peri bottle.
Peri bottle. I had these Mama Frida. We talked about it. Oh, the ice packs.
Yeah.
But you could also make your own. There's like YouTube videos but if you
could literally just use a regular ice pack.
You can use a regular ice pack, but these I love them and I want to talk about them. There's this, it's a pad with the ice pack inside. You kind of crack it and you just put it in. You don't have to worry about it. Even for the first like 3 days.
Because it helps with the swelling.
It helps with the swelling right away. Even at the hospital, like you don't have to worry about like putting the ice in and blah, blah, blah. It's this big. You crack it in half. You put it in and you're good.
I didn't have that.
Well, I'm going to give you one.
Okay,
I'm going to give you one.
Okay, thank you. Peri bottle, sitz bath.
Ooh.
Do the fucking sitz bath. I didn't do it the first time for like 3 days.
Same.
And I remember one night just screaming in pain and like, I had my night nurse and she was like, get on that sitz bath now and do not move until like an hour. And it really like,
it's healing. Really whatever's in it, it's like salts.
It's just Epsom salts.
Yeah.
It's basically just like a toilet
like
on
a
toilet. Yeah, on a toilet. I took mine from the hospital.
I took mine from the hospital too. The second time they didn't give it to me, so I had to buy one because I didn't keep the one from Arlo. So I had to buy one the second time around. So highly recommend that. I feel like I tell all my friends to make sure you take care of yourself. And when that baby's sleeping or if someone's there to help you, if you're fortunate enough for that, sit on that fucking sitz bath.
Yeah.
It's going to help.
Literally. Even if you sit on the bath and you put the baby in your thing in front of you.
You're
like
fine.
On the
Just
floor.
sit there. You're fine. Let's do that.
And the donut.
The donut. We talked about the donut.
You need the donut.
You for sure. If your hemorrhoids are screaming help, you need the donut.
Yes.
It really helps. It's just an extra cushion that kind of like lifts you. That kind of like lifts you up.
And don't be surprised if like you sneeze or laugh and a little
and
pee,
it hurts.
Pee,
and
it hurts and pee comes out. Oh, you should 100% do pelvic floor physiotherapy.
I never did that.
I did it. It was a weird experience.
Right.
Like very weird.
Don't they kind of like fist you?
Basically, you go in and like this is supposed to be like after the 6 weeks.
Right.
Again, the arbitrary 6 weeks.
So they're technically like checking you.
So she actually checked me because like my doctor didn't.
Right.
Like she basically sticks her hand up you and starts like feeling around and is like,
right.
Okay, you're a 2 out of 5. I'm like, what the fuck
does that mean?
Like it's like how bad basically your pelvic floor like sits on your bladder. And then if it's
that's why you
if it's strong, it's like up. But if it's weak, it sits on your bladder. So that's why you always are peeing or like whatever, because it's like not strong. Like it got loose.
I need to go see a pelvic floor. So I pee like I'm pregnant.
I know. So they give you like exercises and stuff to fix it, and then you go back the next time, and she's like, "Hey, now you're 3 out of 5."
That's amazing.
But then I stopped, and I think I should have kept going. But anyway, I highly recommend it. It's not covered, which sucks. Like you have to pay out of pocket, and it's not. It's not cheap.
It should be covered.
It should be covered.
That should be your postpartum 6-week checkup. Go see a pelvic floor.
Literally. And you can do it pre and post. Like some people do it before labor too to like help them get ready. But definitely if you can get an appointment, even one, because they give you exercises.
I think it's really not.
It's like it's the exercises that are like
you're kind of like
breathe
holding
in
that
like
marble, right? Remember we were
breathe
doing
in the
that
blueberry,
before?
breathe in the thing from your whatever.
Thing from your whatever. But yes,
anyway,
I'm gonna do it. I pee like I'm pregnant.
You could still do it now.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It's not like it's
maybe it's gonna help me.
Probably.
No one told me about it till you right now. Here, that's the whole point, right?
Shit, no one tells you.
There you go.
Okay, let's talk about your first poo.
Ooh, I was freaking nervous.
Me too. People really talk this up.
Why?
They really scare the shit out of me.
But
no
why?
pun intended.
Honestly, like talk about other things that like we actually need to talk about, but like it really wasn't that bad.
Just honestly take Restore Relax.
And a squatty potty.
From the
you
moment.
Gotta, like,
get out. From the moment
out.
you give birth, dump that Restore Relax in your fucking coffee, in your water, in your everything.
You're gonna go. It's not like you're not gonna go. Like it has to come out.
And the more like loosen it up, it's less stressful.
It's not pain in your stomach. It's from the hemorrhoids. That's where the pain's coming from.
It goes back to what we said before when you're like that pushing, like it hurt. You don't want that.
But honestly, I was fine. I think I was lucky with both kids. It came out smoothly, let's say.
Really totally remember, but I do remember the Restore.
But I was really fucking nervous. Ooh, I was scared. I was like, okay, it's poo time. We got to set this up. Like, we got to make sure. Like, I needed some candles to go around. Not actually, but you got to prepare.
Yeah.
But it really was okay.
Yeah, I know. And then sex.
So you know what? Speaking of sex, so I checked myself and I was like, okay, we're cleared to go. And that was 5 weeks. I was like, I'm ready to go. Like I was even before the 6 week. Like my phone call was around 5 weeks. I was like, hey, I'm ready to go. The first time with Arlo felt weird. A little bit. Weird. It was weird. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It was a little weird. Like it was fine, but the first time was weird. And then I think I waited a little longer for Ace and it was better. I feel like I did it too early, but It's weird.
Yeah, because you don't feel like
Yourself.
sexy and stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe your stomach has gone down, but like your boobs are full, and like you're just like not really. It's not really like
pregnant. You are like you're still your boobs are
horny.
Full,
Pregnant.
You're horny. You want to have sex. You're feeling yourself.
Totally.
But yeah, you're right. Postpartum, you're kind of like, ugh.
Like, it's probably fine, but it's like I agree with you. Like, I would say like waiting a little bit longer
when you feel a bit better.
It's more about how you feel.
I agree.
Like, physically, it's
own.
fine.
Yeah, physically it's fine. Teach their own on how you feel. You're right.
Yeah.
So that's sex.
The bleeding.
Ooh.
What's that?
Okay, so the bleeding, honestly, it ranges. I feel like I spoke to some people where it was like they only bled for like a week and a half, but I feel like I bled for 4 weeks with Arlo, and then it like slowly simmered down. And with Ace, I feel like it was like 2.5 weeks, but like I bled and then it stopped and then it kind of came back, and then it changes colors. It goes from like bright red to brown to like this yellow. When you see the yellow, you're kind of like, we're at the end.
Interesting.
But I've heard that like if you feel something's off, you go to emergency. Like
ASAP.
It's not like
don't play games.
No. Like if you're bleeding past, I want to say 4 or 5 weeks,
you need to
go see someone for sure.
And then this is $1 million question. Can I get pregnant after birth?
Yes. 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 So that's kind of what happened to me because it took us a long time to get pregnant with Arlo. And Adam kind of was like, hey, let's just like go for it. Then you don't have to stress about the ovulation sticks and blah, blah, blah. And like, let's see what happens. And I was 6 months postpartum, which is really close to.
That's insane.
I know, it was 6 months. And
insane.
I was like, okay, let's do it. Because if it takes us 8-9 months, like I'm such a planner, I'm at a fault for it.
And you got fucked.
And I was like, okay, great, whatever. And we had sex once. And we were like, okay, like let's just practice whatever. And then here comes Ace. And it was so fast. And they really do say, and I do really believe it.
I believe it too.
You are
so
most fertile.
I agree.
After you have a baby.
Everyone I know that got pregnant with their second early, so fast. Like, you got to be careful.
You got to be careful.
Like, if you don't want another baby, you need to use protection.
Yeah,
like,
even that one time.
Even pre-cum. Like, even people have pulled out and they still got pregnant.
There you go.
I feel like if you just like look at somebody, they could get pregnant.
I agree. Like, oh, you just had a baby?
Like, yeah, just be careful. If you don't want a second one right away.
No, be careful. I agree 100%.
Like,
until you're
not
ready. I'm so happy and thankful I didn't have to stress about it and all that jazz, like looking now. But it was really crazy postpartum, like that. And then I was pregnant again. So I didn't even get past the postpartum phase. Well, like, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm pregnant again.
Like the hormones during pregnancy, I feel like are like happy cry hormones. And then the hormones postpartum are just like,
sad.
Yeah, sad. Why? It's like weird.
It's like you had this baby, it's out of you now. They really, if you're breastfeeding, they're sucking the living shit out of you.
Yes.
You're constantly starving. You're constantly thirsty. You're trying to keep up
with
everything. You're not sleeping.
Yeah.
I had another baby to take care of. Arlo was 16 months old. He was a baby.
And then there's like, that's insane.
He was a baby. And then the mom guilt of knowing that I have a baby and I have to take care of this another baby and then I have to take care of myself was really, it was tough.
Yeah.
It was really tough.
I feel like it really fucks you up when you're just like being pulled in so many different directions.
Right.
And then your hormones are so fucked. And then that's not even like full on postpartum depression, which is a whole other ball game too. That like, I think it's like 1 out of 4 people get it. Like,
and a lot of people don't talk about it.
And it's like really, really difficult. Like I know a ton of my friends like went through it.
Right.
Some people had it like a couple weeks. Some people had it a couple months. And
right.
It's like, it's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
You really need like a good support system to like
get you through it. You got to talk about it. If you have to talk to a therapist about it, talk to a therapist about it. Do whatever works for you. My friends were my therapy. It was a lot harder the second time around postpartum for sure. I feel like the first also, like it was COVID. Our husbands were home. We weren't
Made a
really doing
difference. I know,
much.
it
We had
makes a
one kid. It was very different. Whereas a second, you're kind of like, oh my God, it's real life. I have to like do this. I had to like take Arlo to school, and then I had to like take care of myself. It's crazy. It
It's
really
hard.
is crazy.
And it's like, it's beautiful chaos, but it's chaos.
It's chaos.
And I also think like another thing I wasn't really prepared for was like the loneliness. Like you go from being this like, for me at least,
Right.
high-powered working woman, like I'm running like big meetings, I'm doing like a lot of like intense like work in my job, and then next thing you know, like I'm sitting at home with like a newborn.
Alone.
My husband's going back to work. He's still doing all that stuff, getting like stimulated mentally like there.
For sure.
And I'm like here with like a baby doing nothing.
But a lot.
I'm physically doing a lot, but I'm not speaking to another adult.
Right.
And I'm just like sitting there by myself. And like my life just went so 180. And you're like, oh my God. And now like I feel like you have less in common with your like husband or partner because you're just like,
that's so fair.
You're in two different worlds, and it's really hard.
It is really hard.
That one's a really hard. That's where I say like it's really, you need to have the mom groups, friends, whether they're your real friends or random
your new
friends. You message a girl on fucking Instagram or
do
like
whatever you
find
gotta
a
do.
Community mom group, like anything.
It's gonna really help.
You need to like,
because you'll feel better about yourself, and you're like, oh my God, you're going through this also. I'm going through this. What like blah blah blah.
And
wow.
And trust me, like everyone's in the same boat. Like I was nervous to reach out to people that like I wasn't really friends with. Cause I'm like, oh, she's gonna think I'm weird that like I'm messaging her, but I'm like, she's probably in the same boat as me too.
Right, and she probably appreciated it so much when you did reach out.
So like, I feel like you just gotta kind of like take the leap and try and make like friends that way, especially if you don't have like a core group that's going through it with you. So
take care of yourself.
Yeah,
like honestly, take care of yourself.
I know. It's really much. Speaking of taking care of myself, are you going to come out with me my first night?
Ooh, I'm coming. Let's talk about that first drink back. If you drink.
I'm excited. If you drink. Or anything.
Whatever floats your boat.
Whatever you do to blow off steam.
Whatever you got to do, let's talk about it.
I'm excited.
I don't remember
where are we
the first time. Like your house?
Yeah.
Like, should I just bring some?
I had a drink at my friend's wedding I think it was 5 weeks after I gave birth. And I was like.
Didn't we take your pump to the bathroom?
Yes.
We did.
Yes. I pumped in the bathroom. It was very fun. And I definitely dumped that milk.
Yes.
Definitely. But I was like, from one drink, and I can drink normally.
Hammered.
I like.
It's the best. Like, blackout. Aren't you so excited?
Yeah, I like can't wait.
One drink. That's all it's going to do.
I can't wait. I'm going to be a cheap drunk. Love it.
For a little bit.
For a little bit
until it takes over. No. I remember with Arlo, I was so excited. All I wanted was a glass of red wine.
I know.
And Adam poured it for me. He gave it to me. And I drank it. Half of it. I didn't even finish the full glass, and I was like, take me to the club. Like I was so hammered.
Ready.
And I was so embarrassed. We had a night nurse, and I was so embarrassed to be around her. I was like, you're taking away my baby. Am I okay? Like, can I still pump? But let's talk about that. Can I still pump? Can I still breastfeed? Yes, you can. You just have to wait it out. Or you just dump it out.
It's supposed to be 1
hour.
No,
one drink.
3 hours for one drink, and then every extra drink you wait like an extra hour.
Right.
I don't really know how that math makes sense, but realistically, I just like didn't do it because I found that I drank and I waited, and then he was kind of like fussy.
Right. No, because it's going through your system, and then it's going into his system.
The better way to do it is if you really want to have a drink, you honestly should drink it like while you're pumping.
Right, because by the time
it gets into your blood system, it's not going to be in that milk, and then you can wait till the next pump, which is 4 hours away.
There you go. Tips and tricks by Jessie.
We'll see if it works this time around. So at the end of the day, when they say it takes a village to raise a kid, it does, but the village is for the mom.
You're right. It is for the mom. It's not for the kid.
No, you need a mom village. You need a community to support you. Like, you guys are the ones holding down the fort. Like, it's you that birthed the baby or bringing this baby up through your breast milk or whatever else, however you're doing. And, you know, you need that support system around you. So, like, honestly, that's how this whole thing started. Because, like, we built our own community together and, like, we want to share it. And, like,
and people kept asking us questions and we're like, okay, here we go. Let's do it. Like, bring on the questions. We're here to answer them.
And, like, I think it's important that we talk about the shit that, like, not everybody wants to talk about. Or you can, like, read it on Google, but, like, I want to hear the real stories.
I want to hear the real stories. You're right.
So anyway, I think it's important that we all continue to be there for each other. And that's why we built this little community. So join us on Instagram if you have questions, if you have comments, if you have ideas, like, you know.
Message us. We would love to answer your questions.
We're doing this for fun, but we're also doing this to, like, you know,
help
some other
people.
So next week, I think, what are we going to chat about next week?
The information overload that you get everywhere. Before kids, pregnancy,
it's
postpartum.
It's fucked.
Toddlers, everything. Like, basically everything.
And, like, what do you need and what do you not need?
I agree.
Because there's a lot of stuff that, like, they tell you need. I'm sorry, you do not need a TPPP.
What the fuck? It was that little stupid thing.
You do not need that.
No.
So join us next week. We are going to chat all things information overload, how you figure out what you need, what you don't need, and, you know, some of our, like, brands that we like, which, you know, are just from experience.
Take it or leave it.
So like, comment, subscribe.
All the above, whatever you do for a podcast.
And we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.